Welcome to Beyond Rockets. Hope you're having a great day. My name is Clark Dunn and I'm your host. Get ready to enjoy some awesome conversations from Huntsville locals about cool work they are doing right here in the Rocket City. You can connect with us on social media at Beyond Rockets, and if you're interested in doing a podcast yourself, I'd love to hear from you. You can visit my website, beyondrockets.com today, or connect with me on LinkedIn at Clark Dunn. Sit back and enjoy this episode of Beyond Rockets.
Everything I liked except the way she talked to me every day.
This episode is sponsored by Yellowhammer Brewing. Yellowhammer is a local craft brewery serving Huntsville for the past 14 years. They are known for their premium craft beers like their T-Minus and Rebellion, but what you might not know is they also offer spirits, wine, seltzers, and non-alcoholic drinks. Next time you stop by their location, try one of their seasonal cocktails made with the Gemini Bourbon or the Yellowhammer Vodka, or try this year's big hit Pineapple Punch Seltzer. You can find out more information about Yellowhammer Brewery by visiting their website, yellowhammerbrewery.com, or visiting their tap room located at Campus 805. Well, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you all here today. Would you like to introduce yourself and we'll get started there?
Oh yeah, my name is Tim Farley.
Awesome.
My name is Oscar Lacayo.
Yeah, and so y'all own and operate the Nicas Grill. So it's a food truck that y'all been doing for quite a while.
Yes, sir.
Since 2001, y'all started the business. Take us back to before starting the business. What were y'all's backgrounds in, and kind of how did you get into the restaurant business?
So, it's funny. I never really was in the restaurant business at all. I was more, I worked for a company called Alutech. I was a operations manager for government contracts throughout the United States. And
wow.
So
Very different than running and operating a food truck.
Absolutely. For Oscar, he's been in the restaurant business for many years.
Yeah, I've been working since 1996.
Okay.
On the food industry.
Yeah, have you kind of worked your way at the point of starting the food truck? Did you kind of work your way through the sort of the roles in a restaurant to kind of become maybe manager at a restaurant prior to?
So I tried to start as a prep cook, and then I gained my way up to be a kitchen manager, and since then I've been working in the food industry.
Yeah, and so 2001 you started the food truck. But you were both kind of doing your own jobs, 9 to 5 was somewhere else. Then you were kind of doing the afternoons, weekends, stuff like that to do the food truck. Talk about that opportunity to go full time and kind of go all in on the business around 2002.
Yeah. So, Nicas Grill is a family business. So our wives work with us as well. So when we went downtown to the food truck rallies, we noticed that there wasn't a lot of Latin style food trucks there at the rallies. So we're like, all right, let's think about it. We have a huge family. So we're used to cooking for a lot of people.
Yeah, so like
every Sunday.
Yeah, 60 people easy every Sunday, just in the family. We all come from Key West, so we just moved up here recently in 2020.
Wow.
2020. And so then so we're looking at the food truck rallies. We're like, man, we can do this, So we started designing the trailer, coming up with stuff. And then, so we did it part-time. And then we became partners with the Orion Amphitheater let's say it was either between June and October of 2021, when the first year that they opened. So we established the partnership with the Orion. Then we would do small lunches, at Alutech, our works and stuff like that. And then at the end of the year, we noticed, okay, this actually might work.
Yeah.
So we made a date in March of, 2022. We're going to quit corporate and just do it full time on the trailer.
And that partnership with the Orion was kind of that tipping off point that kind of allowed you to say, hey, there's a lot of interest in what y'all are doing. More people are finding out about what the grill is, what the food truck is. How has there been a little bit of a learning curve? Have you seen with people that maybe come up at the Orion or at other events that you're at that maybe don't really understand the kind of food that you cook or prepare, and that you're kind of educating them on what it is?
Yeah. So it's a Nicaraguan-American fusion. He's from Oscar's from Nicaragua. My wife, his wife. So we married sisters, by the way. So it's a Nicaraguan and American fusion. So I'm from Chicago, but I was raised in Florida, and we just fused our cultures together, which is something different. And here in Alabama, we notice a lot of people like to try new things. So we go with their Nicaraguan style food, and we make it almost Americanized style.
Okay.
But or American food with Nicaraguan seasonings. So like our top sellers are so like our Phillies, instead of your traditional provolone cheese, we actually use melted queso blanco for the Spanish side of it. So it's just people, as they're trying new things, they're asking, oh wow, this the combo is perfect together. So it's just everything started working out great with that.
Yeah, and so as the Orion and kind of that going full time into the business, you've started to do other events too.
Correct.
The Orion obviously takes a lot of the season because there's a lot of events that go on. It just kicked off last weekend, I believe.
We were there.
What was the first show with Brantley Gilbert? And so talk a little bit about how that opportunity with the Orion has maybe landed, or you've gotten other opportunities at other events or other corporate stuff. If you're setting up at a business, or if you're setting up at like a food truck rally or whatever how has the Orion sort of catapulted you, and what are some of the other events or things people might be able to find you at?
So after partnering with the Orion, we actually signed a contract with NASA out on the Arsenal. So we do NASA 3 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we do other events in Research Park, Northrop Grumman's. We do Blue Origin twice a month. Other smaller events. We do a lot of community events for the Orion as well when it's there. We do the Mad Fest for Madison City Schools.
Okay.
We've done that for last year for their first year, and we're doing it again this year. And we do the Madison Street Festival as well.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, and there's so many. I think what's nice about Huntsville and Madison is that there is so many of those kind of events that you can be a part of. I mean, there's the food truck rallies downtown Huntsville. There's stuff in Madison at farmers markets and other events. There's the Orion shows. It's not going to slow down. You're going to get to a point that you're going to be like, I'm going to have multiple trucks or even more people helping you prepare the food that you're doing, because you can't obviously be in multiple places at once. As you've gone full time, kind of what's the trajectory for the business, and what are some of the things that you're hoping to kind of accomplish maybe in 2025, but maybe also in the next few years?
So this year we're focusing on more branding, getting our name out there a lot more, more community versus more visitors, because at the Orion, we do get a lot of the community come to the Orion, but there's a lot of people from out of state.
For sure.
So we are trying to brand more towards the locals here in Huntsville and Madison. We are, in 2025, also building a commissary for other food trucks to come out to prep and prepare and also station their food truck or trailer. So we're just going to try to do more stuff for the community side for Huntsville and Madison and Athens, things like that this year.
And so, I mean, obviously you've served, I was looking at y'all's website before you got here, and y'all have served some pretty cool people at the Orion.
Yeah.
Is there any, over the years of doing it, is there anybody like top, 3 artists that you were able to meet and serve and, be introduced to at the Orion?
Yeah. The top 3. Zach Top, with Lainey Wilson, we got to serve them in the back. Lainey so she had her family that time when she was at the Orion, and we actually got to hang out with more of her family than her.
Okay.
Because she had to leave very early in the next morning, but her family was awesome. Zach Top was really cool.
Okay.
He came and he hugged us all. Robert Plant, he was really cool. We even invited him on the truck to cook his own food with us.
That's awesome.
But he was
the mustard.
Oh yeah, he signed our mustard, because he got our jug.
Cool.
And
we take some picture with it.
Yeah, who else was actually really good? She's a Christian singer.
Lauren
Deagle.
Yes,
she was amazing too.
Okay.
She came out and hugged us all, and very surprising how these huge names are very humble. Weezer was cool.
Yeah.
We didn't get a picture with him, but we talked with him.
That's awesome.
Got the drummers, and everything has been really fun with meeting these celebrities.
Yeah. So if someone's listening and they have this itch to do a food truck too, maybe they've been in the restaurant industry before and they want to do something there on their own, or maybe they're not from the restaurant background, but they really have a passion for cooking. Is there a piece of advice that you would give them from both of y'all's perspectives on what it takes to be successful, or what you wish you would have known before you got started?
I think the first thing is discipline.
It's a lot of work.
You gotta have a lot of discipline and a lot of work. They look easy, but it takes a lot of time and work.
Yeah, prepping all day, and
sometimes we have to work like 16, 20 hours to make it happen.
Wow. In the beginning.
Event. So it's
a lot harder than it looks. You're in a small space. But after the years, you get your niche. So you start, what used to take, 5 hours, now it's taking an hour.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of hustle bustle, to get where you need to get. But the food truck world, the people are like family. All the food truckers, we all know each other. We all help each other out. I forgot something. Oh, you got this? Yeah, and they give it to you. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's the cool part. It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
You just got to be prepared. It's not as easy. Like I said, it's not.
Mostly the first year is a lot of.
You learn a lot your first year.
Years.
Yeah, and I would assume too, as you've been able to grow with the Orion, what the way you prepared for a Orion show when you first started is probably a lot different than how you prepared now, and you probably now kind of have an idea of like what to expect a little bit more.
Yes and no. So with the Orion, it is, even with lunches, at NASA, every concert's different. So you have different people. One day, it could be 8,000 people, and this day they want loaded fries, or it could be 4,000 people, and it could still be loaded fries. I could do the same amount of one dish with 4,000 versus 8,000.
Wow.
So it also depends on the type of concert, the type of people who come to the concerts. Is it a kid event? So then we have to change our menu up a little bit. I throw a special in more for the kids.
Okay.
But every concert's different, so you can never say, oh, our Phillies this time is it.
Yeah.
So we gotta prepare every dish as if that's gonna sell out.
Yeah. Wow. And I like that, as depending on the event, you kind of tailor the menu a little bit to accommodate the potential crowds that you might serve. I mean, you don't want to have, maybe the typical menu if it's a kid's event. Like that's no parent's going to come to the menu and say, hey, my kids are going to eat that. So you're able to kind of tailor the menu a little bit, but also still offering the uniqueness that you do at Nicas Grill.
And the best thing with our menu, you have a burgers, or you got a chicken, and usually it's just a burger truck or a chicken truck. Our menu is so diverse. We have a menu we have an item on the menu for everybody. So if it's a family of 5 or a family of 2, they can pick and choose because our menu is so different in variety. It's perfect. And I think it's what makes us different and, so popular as we've been.
Yeah. And so from both of y'all, I mean, is there a menu item that somebody, if they're listening or watching, should definitely try? Like it is your number one, it's one of your, it's either the number one seller or it is your favorite personally?
Well, our number one seller is the Philly cheesesteak.
Philly cheesesteaks, quesadillas. We do have a signature dish, which is more traditional Nicaragua only.
The Valenciana rice.
The Valenciana rice. We did throw a little American in it.
Okay.
So traditional Valenciana rice is rice, Nicaraguan seasonings, sweet peas, carrots, shredded chicken. And in Nicaragua, they throw the hot dogs. Me being from Chicago, we threw in the pork sausage.
Okay.
To the hot dog. So it kind of gives it a little bit more presentable. And so that's been really getting bigger and bigger throughout the last couple of years. So that would probably be, if you want an authentic, try the Valenciana, but our most popular dish definitely would be the Phillies.
Okay. And so,
sorry.
Yeah,
that's
you're
the
good.
one most popular in Nicaragua too.
Really?
If you go to a birthday party, a wedding, they gotta have that.
Really? Okay. Yeah. And so how do you go about, if you're looking at the menu or you're getting feedback from customers, how do you go about developing a new menu item and finding something that, fits with the uniqueness that you offer, that fusion, but also being able to provide something that, the customers are kind of either insisting that you do, or that you're kind of, you're seeing it as maybe a selling item from other food trucks. And you're like, I think we could do a cool twist on that.
Even if we have like a set menu, we can custom, like I say, custom make any food that our customer wants. It's not like set as a menu.
Okay.
So we can, if like quesadilla, we got the chicken quesadilla, but we can, if you want a pork, beef, or any other item that we have in our food truck, we can make your custom food or quesadilla.
Okay. Yeah. So there is a little bit of the customer is able to kind of, take what the menu that you have and kind of figure out, hey, I really want this, but I can't eat this, or I don't eat this. Can you add this instead?
So they also offer vegetarian. So we do make the veggie quesadilla. We have black bean burgers. So I mean, we have one for anybody that wants to come to the window, from kids to vegan. So we're good.
Yeah, awesome. So if someone's listening, or a business is listening or watching, and they're wanting to connect with y'all, find out more information about, maybe having you come to an event of theirs, wanting just to kind of see what events y'all are at each week, where can they find out more information?
So you can visit our website at nicasgrillcafe.com. You can scroll down all the way towards the bottom, and on the website, we post the schedule for the entire month. There's also a spot where it says contact us, and it goes straight to our email. They write a question. Our Instagram or Facebook at Nicas Grill Cafe. They can also reach out to us from that way, or our email at nicasgrillcafe@gmail.com.
Perfect. And we'll be sure to have everything in the episode notes so people can find out links to all the social medias, links to your website.
Correct.
Emails, I'll have them all there so people can find out. But I appreciate y'all both being here today. It's incredible just to see this journey that you've had with doing the food truck as just kind of a passion project, to now doing it as a business, to now doing it as a family business, to now being at the Orion and growing and being at NASA. And I think, the future's bright. I think there's so many cool things that we've talked about that in the next few years, you're going to be able to offer even a different sort of style of the food that you already are creating, but maybe in more of a sit down sort of environment. So we'll be sure to have you back on the podcast in a couple of years, because I think the business is going to change. And so having you back on to talk a little bit about that will be great. But I appreciate you both being here.
We loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Beyond Rockets. Don't forget you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen, and on YouTube at Beyond Rockets. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Beyond Rockets to stay up to date with new episodes as they are released. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.